Right now, sitting in your gut, is acid strong enough to dissolve a razor blade, not rust it, not dull it, actually break it down. Your stomach carries that kind of power every single day, and you never felt a thing. That's just the opening act, little bro. And that's not even the wildest thing your body's doing without asking your permission. I've got a whole run of these lined up. Stuff so strange you'll swear I made it up. I didn't. Everyone's real. Stick with me, it only gets crazier from here. Here's one that broke my brain the first time I heard it. Uncoil every blood vessel in your body. Arteries, veins, the tiny capillaries you can't even see. Lay them end to end, and they'd wrap around the entire planet over 2 times. That's inside you, right now. And here's the part that gets me. You're not doing any of this on purpose. No memo went out, no alarm went off. Your body is running 100 miracles a minute in total silence, while you're scrolling your phone or arguing about nothing. It never asks for credit. Ever. Take your skeleton. The bones holding you up right now aren't the same bones you had a decade ago. Not physically. Your body is constantly breaking down old bone tissue and laying down new material, cell by cell, so slowly you never catch it happening. Give it about 10 years, and you're standing on an entirely rebuilt frame. Rewind further, back to when you were a newborn. You showed up with close to 300 bones, way more than you've got now. As you grew, a bunch of those separate pieces fused together, cartilage hardening into bone, until you leveled out at the 206 bones you're carrying around as an adult. Now here's where it gets disrespectful to steel. Pound for pound, your bone is actually stronger. A block of bone the size of a matchbox can support close to 9 tons of weight before it fails, more than a block of steel the same size. And yours is just casually holding you up, no complaints. Your teeth are working with something even tougher. The enamel coating them is the hardest material your body makes. Harder than bone, and by some comparisons, harder than steel itself. It's basically armor plating for something you casually use to chew gum, crack open sunflower seeds, and bite into pizza without a second thought. Meanwhile, your skin is quietly getting rid of the old you. Millions of dead skin cells flake off your body every single day. You're leaving a trail of yourself everywhere you walk, on your sheets, on your clothes, and the dust on your shelf. Most of that household dust, that's you. And that shedding isn't random. It's a full renovation schedule. The outer layer of your skin completely replaces itself roughly every 27 days. The skin covering your hands right now didn't exist a month ago. You're wearing a brand new outfit of skin about 12 times a year minimum. Now remember that acid from the very start of this? The one that eats razor blades? Here's the twist. Your stomach lining regenerates every few days specifically so that acid never gets the chance to digest you from the inside. It's rebuilding the walls faster than the acid can tear them down. Your liver takes regeneration to a different level entirely. Surgeons can remove up to 70% of it, most of the organ, gone, and within a matter of months it grows itself back to full size. No other organ in your body pulls off a comeback like that. None. Back to those blood vessels wrapped twice around the planet. They're not just sitting there for show. Right now, while you listen to this, blood is moving through every mile of that network, reaching your fingertips, your toes, the back of your eyeballs, without you steering a single drop of it. And the engine behind all that movement is your heart, pushing roughly 2,000 gallons of blood through your body every single day. That's enough to fill a small backyard swimming pool, pumped nonstop, 24 hours straight, while you're asleep, at school, arguing with your mom. It never clocks out. Add that up across a full lifetime and your heart will beat somewhere close to 3 billion times before it's ever done. 3 billion. No maintenance break, no software update, no day off, ever. It just keeps time for you from the second you're born until the very last moment you're here. Your lungs even made room for that heart. The left one is noticeably smaller than the right, carved out with a little dent called the cardiac notch, purely to give your heart the space it needs to sit comfortably in your chest. Your own organs negotiated real estate before you were even born. That size difference shows up in the structure too. Your right lung is built with 3 separate lobes while the left one only has 2, again making room for your heart next door. 2 lungs, same job, completely different blueprints, and you've never once had to think about the difference. Now let's talk speed, because your nervous system is not playing around. The fastest nerve signals in your body travel at over 250 miles per hour. Touch something hot, and the message screaming back to your brain moves faster than a Formula One car at full throttle. That's why you flinch before you even register the pain. And the organ receiving all those signals is greedy with energy. Your brain makes up about 2% of your total body weight, yet it burns through roughly 1/5 of all the energy you consume in a day. Just sitting here listening to my voice, it's pulling more power than almost anything else you own. Here's the part that sounds impossible. The brain, the thing that interprets every ounce of pain your body ever feels, cannot feel pain itself. There are no pain receptors inside brain tissue at all. It processes agony from a stubbed toe or a broken bone without ever experiencing a single bit of it directly. That's exactly why some brain surgeries happen while the patient is wide awake, talking to the surgical team the entire time. Doctors numb the scalp and skull, then work directly on brain tissue while the person answers questions, moves their hand, even cracks jokes, completely pain-free, because down there's nothing left to hurt. Your eyes are running their own kind of miracle. A healthy human eye can distinguish somewhere around 10 million different colors, way more shades than any screen you own can even display. Every sunset you've ever looked at was actually a wall of color your eyes could parse, but your words could never fully describe. And it's not just about range of color, it's about raw sensitivity. On a clear, dark night, with nothing blocking the view, the human eye can pick up a single candle flame from close to 2 miles away. Your eyes are catching a flicker of light from a distance most people can't even walk in 20 minutes. Your nose is arguably even more absurd. Scientists once thought humans could only tell apart about 10,000 smells. A study flipped that completely, showing your nose can actually distinguish over 1 trillion distinct scents. 1 trillion. You're walking around with a smell detector nobody bothered to fully appreciate until recently. And here's a weird side effect of aging nobody warns you about. Your ears and your nose never actually stop growing. Unlike the rest of your bones, the cartilage in them keeps slowly expanding your whole life. That's part of why Grandpa's ears look bigger than they did in his wedding photos. It's not your imagination. Even your sense of taste is on a replacement cycle. The taste buds covering your tongue regenerate completely roughly every 2 weeks, which is honestly a good thing, because you're constantly scalding them on hot pizza and coffee. Your body just quietly issues you a fresh set before you even notice the damage. Now real quick, before I keep stacking these on you, if you're the type who likes being the one in the group chat who actually knows this stuff, stick around, because I do this every day. Alright, back to it, because the next stretch gets even stranger than what we just covered. Think about how much spit you produce without ever thinking about it. Your salivary glands crank out somewhere around a couple pints a day, and stretched across an entire lifetime, that adds up to tens of thousands of liters, enough to fill multiple swimming pools with something your body made for free, constantly, since birth. Here's one that happened before you ever took a breath. Your fingerprints were already forming while you were still in the womb, locked in by around 17 weeks of pregnancy. That pattern on your thumb right now, the one on every form you've ever signed, was decided months before you were even born. And fingerprints aren't the only part of you that's one of a kind. The surface of your tongue has its own unique pattern too, just like a print. No two people on the planet share the exact same one. Somewhere out there is tech that could scan your tongue the same way it scans your thumb. Here's a wild one you can actually test on yourself. You are measurably taller in the morning than you are at night. Over the course of a normal day, you can lose close to half an inch in height, just from gravity slowly pressing down on you while you're up and moving around. That height swing comes down to your spine. The soft discs cushioning each vertebra get compressed under the weight of standing and sitting all day, squeezing out fluid. Then overnight, lying flat, those discs soak the fluid back in and expand again, quietly resetting you back to full height by the time you wake up. Your hair is running its own steady project the entire time. On average, the hair on your head grows about 6 inches a year, roughly half an inch every month, whether you're paying attention or not. Give it a decade of never cutting it, and you'd be looking at something down past your waist. But growth isn't the whole story, because you're losing hair at the same time. Most people shed somewhere around 100 strands a day just from normal turnover, no shampoo required, no bad luck involved. Find a few extra hairs on your pillow tomorrow morning, and that's just your body running its usual cycle. Even your fingernails play favorites. The nails on your dominant hand, the one you write and eat with, actually grow faster than the nails on the other hand. Nobody's fully sure why, but the leading theory is that hand gets more blood flow and more use, and your body rewards the workload. Zoom out to the raw materials making up your entire body, and it gets almost funny. You're carrying around roughly 4 grams of iron total, just enough if you melted it all down to forge one small metal nail. That's it. That's the whole iron budget, keeping your blood carrying oxygen every second of your life. Now stack that against the carbon in your body, because there's a lot more of it. You're holding around 35 pounds of carbon at any given time, enough in theory to fill the graphite core of thousands of pencils. You are quite literally built from some of the same stuff you write with. Here's the one that actually makes me sit back every time. Every cell in your body holds a coiled strand of DNA, and if you uncoiled all of it, every strand from every one of your trillions of cells, and laid it end to end, it would stretch far enough to reach the sun hundreds of times over. And that number starts with just one cell. Uncoil the DNA packed inside a single one of your cells, something so small you need a microscope to see it, and that thread alone stretches out to about 6 feet long. 6 feet of information folded down to fit inside something invisible to your bare eye. Your eyes, meanwhile, are running a task you've never once had to schedule. On an average day, you'll blink well over 10,000 times, each one lasting a fraction of a second, clearing dust and keeping your eyes wet. Add it up and you spend roughly 10% of your waking hours with your eyes technically closed. And that thing you're probably about to do just from hearing the word yawning might not be about oxygen at all like people used to believe. Researchers now think yawning exists to cool down your brain when it starts running a little too hot, pulling in cooler air to bring your internal temperature back in line. And goosebumps work the exact same way, a leftover setting nobody updated. Back when your ancestors were covered in thick body hair, tiny muscles at the base of each hair would tighten up, raising the hair to trap warmth or make them look bigger to a threat. You don't have the fur anymore. The reflex never got the memo. Here's one that sounds made up but isn't. Hiccups, that annoying spasm that hijacks your throat mid-sentence, might be a leftover reflex from ancestors that breathe through gills. Scientists studying the nerve circuit behind hiccups found it matches the pattern tadpoles use to push water over their gills. So every time you hiccup, some researchers think your brainstem is running software built for a body you don't have anymore. Now here's something stranger. You are, as far as anyone can tell, the only creature on Earth that blushes. Charles Darwin noticed it more than 150 years ago and called it the most human of all expressions. Blushing isn't something you choose. Your sympathetic nervous system floods the blood vessels in your face without asking permission, usually right when you'd give anything to hide how you feel. Try to tickle yourself right now. Go ahead. It won't work, and there's a real reason why. When you move your own hand, a part of your brain called the cerebellum predicts exactly what that touch is going to feel like before it happens, so it cancels out the surprise. Tickling only works when someone else's hand catches you off guard, because your brain never saw it coming. Your skin is running its own climate control system right now, whether you notice it or not. Somewhere between 2 and 4 million sweat glands are packed into it, more per square inch on your palms and the soles of your feet than anywhere else. They're not just there to keep you cool either. Sweat carries out salt, waste, and even trace toxins every single hour of the day. Here's a number that never fails to freak people out. Uncoiled and stretched flat, your small intestine runs about 22 feet long, longer than a school bus. It's folded and packed into a space smaller than your torso, lined with millions of tiny finger-shaped ridges that pull nutrients out of everything you eat. 22 feet of tubing, coiled up quietly under your ribs right now. Think about everything I just told you. The hiccup circuit, the blush you can't control, the tickle you can't fake on yourself, the millions of sweat glands, 22 feet of gut. None of that runs on your permission. You didn't schedule it, approve it, or even think about it once today. Your body has been making 1,000 decisions a minute without ever checking in with you. Remember that number I gave you earlier? The 60,000 miles of blood vessels packed inside you? That's not some fact that happened once and got filed away. That entire network is working right now while you listen to this, pushing blood through vessels thinner than a hair, all the way out to your fingertips and back, over and over, without a single break since before you were born. And it's not just circulation. Right now, dead skin cells are flaking off and new ones are rising up to replace them. Bone tissue is quietly dissolving in one spot and rebuilding in another. Tiny tears in muscle from just walking around today are already being stitched back together. None of this waits for you to sleep or rest. It happens in real time, every second, whether you're paying attention or not. And here's the part that gets me every time. You've probably been half listening to this while checking your phone, thinking about something someone said earlier, or planning what you're doing tonight. Meanwhile, your lungs pulled in air about 20,000 times today, your heart beat over 100,000 times, and you didn't register one of them. Your attention was somewhere else the entire time, and your body never needed it to be anywhere else. Step back for a second and look at the whole picture. A reflex older than walking on two legs, a blush no other animal shares with you, a brain that cancels your own touch before it happens, 2 to 4 million sweat glands, 22 feet of coiled intestine, 60,000 miles of vessels, all of it running without one instruction from you. Honestly, no writer could invent this and still get you to believe it. Here's the thing that ties all of this together. Every single fact I just gave you isn't some rare event or a party trick your body pulls out once in a while. It's Tuesday, it's right now, it's the baseline. Your body clears out old cells, reroutes blood, predicts its own movements, and keeps a coiled tube of intestine working, all before you finish your morning coffee every single day of your life. So here's the last one, and it might be the wildest of all. Almost none of you is the same as it was a decade ago. Your skin has replaced itself dozens of times over. Most of your skeleton has rebuilt itself from the inside out. The blood running through you right now was made fresh, cell by cell, sometime in just the last few months. You are, quite literally, remade before you ever notice. So next time you catch yourself hiccuping for no reason, or feeling your face go hot in front of someone, just remember that's not some malfunction. That's just a body that's been quietly running the most complicated machine on the planet since before you could even talk. I don't know, man. I just think that's kind of beautiful. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one.